And this time,
they don't have
to go for tier 3s. This time, they can go straight for the tier 4s. And this time, can Nico Baby land the Chronosphere? He's got 12 seconds left. Can he pull out the miracle? 8 seconds. 1 tier 4 dead. 2 seconds.
Dream Chrono.
Another tier 4 gone. 0 seconds. Chrono steers up and he goes for Nisha. He's going to try and take out the Venom Assassin as quick as possible. Look at the damage flowing in. The bats are going to be good enough. He's dead. Instant buyback though. Puppy going to be chased. Nico Baby's already blown his BKB. He's secret. They said Nisha was a fine target. We are still out. They're going to be able to lock down KB. But now short he dies. KB's up and now the Chronosphere plays against the star. He dies to the infinite. Zai, he actually managed to take it. Can he get away? He's trying to jump away from Nisha. He's trying to finish this up. Zai managed to live. They need the buybacks. They need to be able to get Moon. He's going to be able to get the bash. Moon trying to drift away. Moon's still alive. This was the buyback. Nisha, he's gone. Baby dead. Nisha, he's dead. Secret, dead with 3. Dead with 3. Yaptor.
They don't have buyback cap.
Nico Baby.
It won't be Deja Vu.
He can do it. They're going to be able to run down mid.
Unbelievable. They actually helped.
Mineski. They're going to go down mid. And this time, Secret. They're left with Yapsor.
Can they make their own miracle holds?
They're left with Zai. How could these two possibly hold
we just asked that
against
question.
the course of Mineski?
Could you hold 2v5? Mineski says yes, absolutely. Backs against the wall. Their tournament life's on the line. 2v5 doesn't matter. Mineski, they bought enough time. KP comes in. Nisha went for the win.
Mineski have had the composure to run this game late game against Team Secret. They said to a man, we will take you to the late game and we will beat you. And now that same composure lets them go for the Roshan. H's, Cheese, Agnes.
They're paying refresher force right now. They don't want Deja Vu cap. They want this game to be over, but first, they've got to kill these 2 heroes.
Into the tier 4s they go. Zai has to make the RP of his life here.
They need to hold 30 seconds for 2 heroes to come back.
15 seconds for mid 1. 1 tier 4 already down. Nico Baby about to finish up. There goes the skewer. Brought in raging a potato. He has the scepter. He has the force staff. He can get out of this mess. KP tries to save that.
They're just hitting the throne.
Able to stop him. They're going for the throne
right now. Right now.
Speed. 2 seconds. Mid 1's almost up. But Nico Baby, he's trying to finish up the corner screen to let it go. And do you believe in miracles? Mineski. 1-1. They've tied up the series. They will go the distance with the #1 DPC team in the world, Team Secret.
Oh my word. I cannot believe Mineski. I thought it was going to be the same situation. That would have been the most heartbreaking way to ever lose. And the crowd, they were cheering for Secret, but right now you've got to show love. Mineski, they lost every fight but the one that mattered.
Oh, Mineski, look at the relief on their face. Oh, what a crazy game. What a crazy series. 2 different rushes to hit the throne, to end the game, to kill the Ancient. And that's the name of the game, Defense of the Ancients. Game 3 is coming soon. I cannot wait for more. But first, we have to see the panel.
My goodness, I think going into that game, one of the biggest talking points that we had was, is Mineski just going to be broken? Well, I think we definitely have our answer after that one.
Holy shit.
Wow. What just happened, guys?
I thought we were going to have a replay of game #1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know where you begin. Like, mid 1 zips into the chrono. Goes down, like... Dude, I have worn heart rate monitors playing qualifiers for my house, and I hit 160 beats per minute. These dudes, like...
Yeah, it's like one of those things where us reacting to it right now, we're all going crazy. Can't even imagine what the players are going through. I actually want to take a look at Cap during that matchup.
Will's just like, dog.
Oh, man, you know... I know a lot of Dota fans, there's a little saying we have in Dota, and that's Cat makes us wet, but it looks like he makes himself wet as well. And I think that this reaction is totally justified in the moment. What do we think the rest of the series is going to hold?
I think Cap should start selling his casting water for sure.
Yeah, okay, that's a good
Write
idea.
that down.
Sell Cap's fluids.
Jesus Christ.
In the end, I think that Mineski didn't even know if they have a buybacks or not because the game was so chaotic. So they instead decided to go for Roshan. Just to be sure.
Me and Parker are freaking out. We're like holding hands. Where's the sense of urgency? They're killing Roshan. We know that the throne is going to be exposed. There's heroes dead without buyback, and Mineski are in the pit. It doesn't hurt them, but...
And one of my favorite things about being at an event is actually watching Nahaz watch Dota. I have never... Nahaz was so angry. He looked so angry during that moment. I looked over. I actually like took out my phone and recorded Alan. He was screaming at the heavens during that moment. But is that just one of those things where you want to make sure that you're crossing off your T's and you're dotting your I's?
Well, because you're not doing that. That's the thing. Like,
yeah,
you know, when you're doing that, you know, you're making sure you get the win. Well, they did almost could have lost them that game. Yeah, it was. Whew. I mean, that's late game Dota. It's crazy. It's chaotic. We love it.
And it's also a product of this being a BO3 series, right? Because the first game, Mineski, they've gotten the bag, they've got Megas. Alchemist dies under tier 4s. You can't blame them playing a bit more conservatively in a similar situation.
Yeah.
And Kyle, I know you actually grabbed a little bit to put the microscope on this matchup and how it actually did go. I kind of want to take a deeper look at everything that did happen in that game.
Oh, the story of this series, man. Ooh, hang on one second. There we go. So I want to just break down the early game edge that Mineski picked up in this series. You can see right away, 7 minutes into the game, 3K gold lead, Witch Doctor blocks the Ancients. They're already there, but they're aware of it. That's the key. Now, Storm zips in. Look at this target. Look who they're going for. That's a tiny. He's got boots and a magic stick, 1200 HP and 12 armor. All of a sudden, yeah, sure, you're going to collect this kill, but if we glance over to the right, there's this huge team fight going down that Mid One isn't a part of. 5K gold already. Now, those Ancient stacks, yeah, Mineski don't block them. They're there, but if you check it out, the map control, it is only 13 minutes into the game. You've got 3 wards placed all on the enemy side of the map. Mineski, they're spread out, collecting towers, jungle camps, gaining a gold lead. You have nearly all of Secret's heroes on this screen right now. They're taking 45 seconds almost to clear this Ancient stack, and Mineski, they're just taking map control. Yeah, there were some sick plays. You had Rubik RPs, the sick Rubik Chrono with the Mid One buyback through, but Secret have to make all of these big plays because otherwise they're just going to lose the game faster. It was an uphill battle the entire time, much like in game 1.
Why do they keep getting in this position where it's an uphill battle? Because that's exactly what it is. We keep getting in both of these situations, it's somewhat like reliant on a miracle. Why do we find ourselves here?
I mean, it's TI, you're in an elimination game, there's going to be some weird stuff happening, and you're going to rely on the late game Dota. Like, no one wants to make a mistake and be punished for it, especially after the second Roche.
I also feel like Secret's maybe drafting too much for the late game because what Mineski have done is partly why they dominate. They pick good laning heroes. They have Enchantress. They have this Lina versus Storm matchup made. They have a Tiny. They have these heroes that can crush the lanes, and as a result, Secret playing from behind 2 games in a row.
Yeah, I feel like I heard you saying that over and over again, the idea of... Did you think that Secret was going to be able to catch back up, though? Because I think you knew that they were playing for the late game, but...
This game more so than game 1, because this game, Mag PA, high ground defense is so scary. They lost that top lane of rack, you still feel like comeback potential was there. Mineski really had to, you know, fight hard before they could get that win. Even when they're up 15k gold lead, it still didn't feel like their lead was safe.
I think Team Secret needed Eon discs, either on Storm Spirit or on Phantom Assassin late game, just so that they can die in the Chronosphere. I mean, Satanic is nice for the HP, but status resistant, it does not work in Chrono.
And we're now on the precipice of a potential history-making moment. If Secret lose this game, it would be the first time in the history of TI, the history of all Valve major events, where the 4 upper bracket teams that get knocked down to the lower bracket would be eliminated as well in the first round of the losers. All of the underdogs that survive the BO1s would be top 8 at the richest TI, the richest tournament in history. All of the underdogs, that'd be insane.
It's crazy. Dota, there's just so much parity. It's the playing field is more even than ever. These teams coming out of BO1s, yeah, maybe they're slight underdogs when you're playing up against likes of Secret, TNC, etc. I mean, maybe Liquid less so, but Dota is just in a great place right now.
That means that lower bracket teams are saving strats for TI. That's confirmed.
I think that one thing that we definitely do have to say about it as well, and this goes back to the interview that we actually had with Mineski, where they said we don't want to put TI on a pedestal. And I feel like that is such an easy thing to say. You know that you don't want to be doing that. You've seen where that gets so many different teams. I mean, look at what happened to VP, right? I mean, this is a team that obviously that's going to be a mental block that's in the back of their head. But you can also say, I want to fly. You're not going to be able to just do it. Some things are physically impossible. And when you're here on this main stage, when you know the prize pool, all of that needs to be kicking around in your head. But it seems like they almost don't have the mental blocks that a team like Secret might have here with all the history that they have with this event.
Yeah, I mean, we look at Liquid, it's sort of the same thing, right? It's a different story playing TI as the favorite. And that's also what makes like what OG's doing insane, because they're just casually winning games and feels like maybe it's because no one had them coming into the tournament the favorite, right?
That was
they were
smart
middle
of
of the pack. Yeah, they were just sandbagging it the whole year. We're not a threat, guys. Look at Secret. They're winning all these majors. Yeah. They're looking dominant. You know, people are calling every individual on the team like the best at their position in the world. At TI, everything changes. And now it's just one game. Who cares about the points? They don't win you anything.
You keep coming back to the idea of absolute insanity, and that's exactly what the crowd is as well. We are surrounded by insanity right now, and luckily there's one man who knows insanity better than anyone else. Slacks is in the fray right now. What's going on, Slacks?
Rich, things are absolutely blowing up here. People are freaking out. That was an amazing series. Boys, you like the Dota so far? Everybody having fun? Yeah! All right, I'm in the crowd to talk to these guys. Let's not forget, somebody's going home after this series, so these teams need a little bit of encouragement. Sir, who do you hope is going to win?
Secret.
All right, you got anything to say out there to Puppy?
Puppy, go on. Be happy.
Be happy?
Yes.
Yes, be happy because you're going to win with the Star Spirit, huh?
Yes.
All right. Sir, anything to say for Mineski?
Yeah, Mineski.
Any more?
Go!
All right, any Mineski fans? Mineski, go!
Mineski, go!
Sir, who do you hope's going to win?
KPI. Go for KPI. Go, Mineski. Go.
Mineski! All right, boys. Are you guys ready to see the end of the series? Someone going home? Let's give them one more yell. Boys, let's go! Back to you.
Thank you so much, Slacks. He is the Gilbert Gottfried of Dota.
Maybe Gilbert Gottfried is just the Slacks of real life.
True, it could be that as well, but we can see already just so many fans right now really just adding to the fire. I think when we first saw the teams come out, it seemed like overwhelmingly people were cheering for the boys that are playing against Mineski, and it slowly shifted. Yeah. At first it was all Secret, now it seems to be more Mineski.
Right now I think that they're cheering for good Dota overall. You've been to SEA a lot of times, I've been only once for Dota event, and I think this crowd is probably the best one I experienced for sure.
Everyone's just loving what these two teams bring to the table. KP himself, a guy who played in China for a long time, so he's got a ton of fans here, which is why you heard the Chinese fans shouting him out. And it's just great to see another 3-game series when we're here at TI.
Yeah, and I do think that is something that we have been hearing quite a lot when we're listening to the fans react. It is just the idea of good. Anytime you have one of those big team fights, everybody here screaming. It doesn't matter who you fight.
I think it's important we recognize, like, if you look at these teams, this is Nisha's first TI on the main stage. Mid one, he's played here before, but they've never had the results that you'd expect. Mineski, they've got their coach combo, Mushi and Kenshi. They brought Fnatic to 4th place at TI6. Ninja Boogie, one of the most calm and collected players in the game. And yeah, it's Nico Baby's first time, but you know, everyone else, just the composure, it really feels like they're the team just playing better Dota right now, or at the very least more controlled.
Yeah, Nico Baby's ultis were placed extremely well, besides the part that he's not using the second ability after he places, so a lot of the times Rubik's stolen that Chronosphere.
I do want to say as well, it keeps coming back to this idea, but I do think it's so important when you just look at the big picture right now of TI9. It's this idea, are we going to have our first 2-time champ? But it's the underdogs that keep coming through. It's a lot of these people who are at TI, potentially even for their first time, that are coming out and just really able to break down these teams. And I kind of want to think about whether or not the history can almost be a negative.
Definitely. I think with Puppey and Secret, though, it's more the recent history. Because, yeah, Puppey's won a TI and he's looking for a second, but the one he won, it was TI1. That was a long time ago. And more recently with Secret, the story around his team has been the disappointments of TI and their results. So overcoming, you know, that similar mental block for VP where it's like you dominate throughout the year and TI, you just don't quite get the same results is currently what Secret's struggling with.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I feel like it's just, I keep looking at this series in particular, even with the stat that Kyle pulled up about the potential history that could be made, there's just so much parity to all of the matches that we have seen, but now the players are going to be coming out, they're going to get into their seats, and we can pretty much rip all the pages out of the history books. This game is going to decide these teams' fate. Everything else, they need to wash it out of their minds, and they need to focus on the task at hand. Game 3, an elimination series, Mineski or Secret, only one of them will make it to play again tomorrow up on this stage here in Shanghai to try to lift up the Aegis. We have seen just, I think, the craziest series of Dota that we've seen so far at TI, and the story really has been Secret finding themselves behind in the early game. We see an upset. Then we see Mineski able to hold strong. What is it going to look like once we actually do touch down to this draft? Is it going to be the same story? Are we going to be holding on for a miracle? I'm standing up. I'm so excited.
I don't care who wins. I want to see another Mega Creep comeback. That's all I want to see. Some crazy Dota happening, chaotic, a lot of Roche fights, especially the late game with Aghanim Scepter upgrades, with Moon Shards.
Well, I mean, we've seen so many of these Mega Creep comebacks, we might need to rename them.
Oh yeah, we're going to rename them to Omega LOL Creeps.
I like it.
They would have won. It doesn't matter how strong the creeps were. What are you...
We worked on that one for a little while. We worked on that one.
That's what you're doing backstage? Me and Gods are over here prepping. You guys are just
we had highlight clothes good to go.
Yeah,
we wrote down everything, and it all led to that joke.
This is all the preparation, all
Nailed
these
it.
pages, just for that one joke.
10 pages.
Yeah, you know, every team come to TI, everybody who comes to TI, including the talent, you have that road, you have that preparation, and me and Lacoste have just been sending each other Omega LOL gifts nonstop. Kyle, what was your preparation like?
I watched the series. I mean, like, I don't know. I can't really turn my eyes away. This is why we love Dota. The reason TI is the biggest event of the year is not anything to do with the prize pool. I mean, well, it is. It's what the team, what it means to the teams, because it's about the pride. There's no excuses here. What you do at TI is what you did with your year. Yeah. All the majors, all the minors, it's just to get us here.
I think that's such an important thing to mention because, you know, I've interviewed some of the players after their loss actually came in, and, you know, you can talk to them as much as you want about how great they did throughout the year, how great even they did in groups, but once you get to this main event, nobody gives a crap. Yeah. All you care about is how you do at TI.
Exactly, and some players really step it up, others kind of underperform, and I think the one player I really want to highlight who's played sensationally is Moon. He's been the absolute superstar of this series so far. He's dominated mid 2 games in a row. You know, he is looking incredible.
He has favorable matchups though both times. And that's what I think's got to switch up for Secret here. You had 3 losing lanes in that game. You're giving this just momentum-based squad, the last team remaining from Southeast Asia, a huge lead. And then you have to play catch up the whole game. You have these miraculous team fight wins, but you know, don't put yourself in a hole. Let mid 1 rock. Give them something that can body Moon, or at least give them a fair shake.
Definitely seeing some patterns with playing against Enchantress and losing lanes. But I do want to kind of look at, you guys are talking about which players you want to put your focus on. Is there a particular position right now, Lacoste, in this matchup that you say, okay, look at these 2 players, look at this head-to-head, it's going to be incredibly important to how this 3rd game actually does shape up?
Well, definitely a mid lane. Mid 1 needs to step up a little bit if they want to win this series, and I think they need to draft better lanes, stronger lanes, because at one time, if you were paying attention like Kyle, they were taking 2 tier 1 towers at the same time.
Yeah.
What do you think you can do to not completely get blown out in the laning phase, but still put this focus on that end game that it seems like they really want to do? Because it's something that does seem safe when you're here. Maybe you play for the late game. Go for a strategy that doesn't have as much variance. I think that's something that God's started to allude to. So what type of heroes do you look for in the draft?
I mean, maybe it comes down to some of the pick order that you can swap up. Sometimes you'll see teams then go from having, first pick to second pick, so they're going to have that last pick of the draft. As long as mid one has a favorable matchup, or at least an even matchup, and then give Nisha hard carry. Put him in game 1 on a Visage, that's a big no-no for me. Yeah, Secret won that game. Yeah. They shouldn't have.
And also, I think the 4 position. You give YapzOr Rubik twice. It's his signature hero. That's what you want him on this main stage, but the early game impact's not there. You've got Potato running around in a tiny in that second game. Like, you can see he has boots and a stick. 12 armor, 1200 HP. You're so much more impactful, and it's allowing Mineski to always win even numbered trades around the map. If they have 2 heroes in a lane and Secret has 2 heroes in a lane, they're going to have the edge, and it puts the impetus on Secret to make plays just to equalize things.
Yeah, I don't know what impetus means, but I will say the one thing that I do know is, Kyle, you basically said in that first game, Mineski won. They won, but they still get the L. There's one opening where all of a sudden we see Team Secret come through and grab the win. Mineski is looking hot here. Are we going to see the upset? We're about to find out as we jump into this game that will decide it all in this series.
Team Secret versus Mineski. Game 3.
The DPC champions and the last best hope of the SEA region. Team Secret and Mineski have already delivered one of the most memorable series in the history of the International, and we are moments away from the deciding game. Winner moves on, loser goes home. Our panel talked a lot about the lanes in the last part of that discussion. Do you feel like that's got to be the focal point here in this draft, especially for Secret?
Yeah, in both the games, like they said, the early game was so bad for Secret. They were down, against an Alk. They get last pick Alks. They try to respond with a Meepo. The Meepo doesn't even lane that well against Alk. He has Acid Spray, and the next game, they pick Storm and they get Lina. So I think the mid is the most important matchup for this game. I think mid one needs to get this hero that he is confident on in the lane, and make sure Moon doesn't get this 10th pick Lina that's just gonna 90-10 you.
Yeah, I agree with Bunner. Like these teams, both Mineski and Secret, their mid player is their tempo controller. We have Moon on this favorable like Lina, DP, Ember, Tiny that creates tempo. So does mid one. Mid one's favorite heroes, Ember, Kunkka, Tiny, like those tempo controlling heroes. If they lose the lane, the side lanes can get a lot of pressure. Even if the side lanes win, though, it's gonna just tilt over to their favor.
Right,
whoever, like wins the mid.
You're talking about the importance of the side lane. Koss brought up that point that we had 2 tier 1 towers taken by Mineski before the 8-minute mark, practically at the same time. That's the first time that we've seen something like that happen, I believe, in this entire tournament. And that really catapulted Mineski into the mid game here. It almost felt like Secret wasn't even going to make a game of it.
I think it was mostly because of mid. A lot of what these teams do, if you watch Secret when they were rolling a lot of tournaments, mid one would play like a Monkey King, for example. And if you watch this early game, Secret do a lot of lane swaps. Once they feel like this hero, Monkey King or whatever in this example, is really strong, they're going to rotate it to their safe lane, where there's going to be a lot of pressure from the opposing team. And Nisha will now take this mid lane, which was already won by his team, and he's going to be able to kind of sit there and farm and catch back up there. And now mid one's kind of relieving the pressure. But in the last 2 games, mid one was under pressure, his safe lane was under pressure. They had no one to rotate and alleviate that pressure as the strong hero.
I also want to note that Secret had a lot of late game heroes that game. It was uncharacteristic of them, I think. Storm, Magnus, PA, all those 3 heroes, they don't provide anything to the team when the other team pushes, So I think that's why we saw that picture of the both side lanes getting pressured at the same time.
Absolutely. Do want to give a quick shout out. It was a defeat, but YapzOr in that last game, 6-5 and 22 on that Rubik, in on all 28 Secret kills in that game. His damage was number 2 behind only that PA, and that Rubik is still on the table in the first phase here for Secret.
I could see them taking it on the 10th pick, depending on the next 2 heroes. As well, they have this Tiny, right? So this Tiny's open. So
Absolute flex
they can kind of like not have to pick feel forced to pick the Rubik now. They can take it into the second phase, because the other team also doesn't want to ban a Rubik in second phase.
Absolutely.
So you're going to have a little opening in the draft.
And that's one thing that if you compare Secret's drafting from the group phase when they were winning to when they started struggling, they have been picking YapzOr as hero in the first phase almost exclusively, which is not something that they did a lot previously in the season.
I think like the first 2 games, yeah, Secret won the first game, but the quality of the game, it felt like Secret lost. So I feel like they're kind of changing things up a little, and they're not giving him the Rubik. Maybe they listened to the panel and like they felt that Tiny like on Potato like did too much. So maybe they're picking it for Yapser.
The one nice
really
thing I like about Team Secret's new bans are they banned the Enchantress. So I think that was one of the big issues with the second game for Mineski. They have this Enchantress, and he kind of crushes this offlane for Mineski. So now they're going to have to kind of dig into their bag, reach out another lane-winning offlaner for KP. Like we said, one of his classics is Enigma. They really like him on a position 3 Enigma. He gets to deny creep every wave, but they're going to go back to the classic.
And Wraith King is a hero that, Febby, you mentioned coming into the series that you thought was potentially a key for Mineski, but Secret are going to come back with this Omni Knight pretty good to me against this open both heroes of Mineski.
Yeah. One downside of Omni Knight is it heavily lacks lane push, which Wraith King is very good at, so Team Secret is going to have to pick a lot of lane push. Because I know Mineski Mushi, I've been playing with him for a few times, and he, as a coach of Mineski, I'm sure like he's telling his game plan is all about pushing lanes.
So one of the cool things about this Omni is some teams run it as a 5 as well. So right now, their 2 heroes are kind of flex picks. They can the Tiny can be mid, offlane or 4. The Omni can be offlane or 5. But the one thing to note is that mostly when people talk about Secret and their flex picks, they're flex picks to the outside. They're not flex picks on the inside.
Yeah.
So Puppy has this plan. He says, we're picking this Omni, and this Omni is going to be our 5. You know, and this Tiny is going to be our mid. And he has this like complete idea. And they can kind of change it. You know, if this Tiny gets really hard countered, they'll put it as support. Same with the Omni, right? But unless the hero gets hard countered, he has a kind of set plan, and he wants to kind of move towards that plan and draft around his idea of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked so much about that as the defining characteristic of Puppy. He is the lightning rod. He is the guy that takes it all on his shoulders, and time again he's delivered, just not yet at TI.
Yeah, it seems like with an OD ban and Omni at their arsenals, Team Secret is going to pick something really aggressive for mid one. Something like Slark, Monkey King, those hyper-aggressive heroes that can be at your face.
Mineski banning the Broodmother and the Batrider. They're kind of trying to protect their safe lane and their mid with those 2 bans. And they pick a AA. That's a kind of classic combo with the Wraith King. People were picking it a patch ago. You can get a cold feed off and then a stun from the Wraith King. The hero's usually going to get stunned at the end. You have a lot of magic damage with your Ogre in the mid to late game, so just a nice stable hero.
The other thing about the AA pick here is it really deters. If Secret were looking at the Alchemist, that's probably a deterrent for them. And remember, the game 1 draft, Mineski did run the Wraith King in the first phase along with the 5th pick out.
Do you think it'd be too crazy that they still out?
That's what I'm saying. I think Mineski...
No.
Oh, Secret. Oh, man, I don't know. That's part of the problem is that, you know, Mid One has had such a tough time in this tournament. I really worry about picking him a hero that's potentially going to be in real trouble if he gets frostbitten in these fights. But I do like the ET pickup here. It does reveal a little bit more about the roles, right? But this is a hero that, again, we mentioned this hero's record in the early game of this tournament, 17-5 in games that end at the 35-minute mark or earlier. That is Secret's sort of pressure release valve if Mineski play this early game run at Dota again.
The way I could see Secret kind of turning this draft is if they're confident with the Alkir, they can put it in their safe lane. They can run this ET, he'll kind of protect the Alchemist, and they do have Heavenly Grace for the AO. It's going to reduce it by 50%. Instead of, you know, being like a 12 seconds, it'll only be 6 seconds of not healing. They can kind of disengage with the GA as well. So the Echo Stomp, so they're going to have a couple ways to kind of play the fight back. I'd be a little scared if I was Mineski of an Elk right now.
All right, we're waiting on the 4th pick here of Secret. Febby, man, how do you block it all out? Because the first 2 games of this series have been as crazy, I think, as any games that I've seen this year. You know, maybe going back quite a few. And you've got to refocus here. All 10 of these players. Oh, my Lord. That is not what I... Okay, that's throwing me for a loop. Do you like this Void pick?
It is not good against Wraith King and Rasta, but it is good with ET.
It's also not good against AA. You won't heal when you get ulted by the AA. Maybe they heard the fans. The fans really like big team fights. They like the big chronos. They now have, you know, GA to turn a fight look cool. They have, you know, Earth Splitter. They have this cool Chronosphere. So maybe Secret's doing this for the fans. I'm a little concerned of the Void versus Wraith King matchup, though.
I think Team Secret needs more damage, and DP doesn't look too good too, because they have AA on Mineski's side, and AA is pretty good against DP.
You need something, a ranged hero fifth pick to just dump damage into that Chronosphere. You talk about the sniper still on the board. The OD they banned themselves.
They need a lot of stuff right now on Team Secret.
Yeah,
they
I
lack
agree.
wave push too.
Invoker?
Omni doesn't push out waves that
You
well
want
too.
Core Invoker?
Yep. Then
All right.
Invoker.
Yeah.
Gets
One of-
banned.
I mean, it's one of his best. Yeah, there you go. It's one of his best heroes on his career.
They could still do Tiny mid. I would be really scared of their damage though. I think they are forced to put this Tiny as a 4 now because of the
I
Raid
agree.
King. So they need a mid 1 hero. They're going to ban as well, you know, a mid hero from Mineski. They're really scared of him from Moon getting this like last pick. So they're going to try to find a hero in the draft that fits them and only is going to have one hard counter that they can ban out.
One good thing that Secret have going for them is the team fight. Mineski's heroes, they're all single targets, so I think Mineski will kind of want to split them and dodge them, play this like cat and mouse sort of game, and try to go late game. While Secret wants to like use their big team fights. Omni wants to fight early, even if there's an AA on the other side of the team.
When you look at mid one's hero pool, the heroes that come up that aren't banned still on the board here: Ember Spirit, Templar Assassin.
I'm looking at if of either of those, it's more the Ember, I think. He's going to have Heavenly Grace, so he's going to be able to go in on the supports and kill the supports. Save this Chrono more for the core, the Wraith King.
Could just storm again.
Yeah, they could storm. I think it's okay with the Grace, but it's also really scary against these instant hexes that are built into your heroes. It's you're much more like confident going on it when you force the enemy to build Sheeps to try to protect their cores, or build Yules to just Yules the storms and try to like have to be forced to defend themselves from the storm. When the supports have built-in ways to defend against him, this Wraith King's gonna have ults, so it's like you have to burn a lot of mana to kill him the first time. It's a little scary for them. And they're gonna ban the Elk. They're still scared of getting last picked Elks. No, I would be too.
Yeah, they're traumatized from the first game.
Coming into this fifth pick, do you feel like Secret's lanes are stronger in this game? Are we going to be able to hold up to the pressure better than we did in games 1 and 2?
I think so. The ET is one of the strongest laning supports right now. His Astral Spirit gives him armor, gives him moves, he gives him damage.
Oh, the Yapsor Rubik once again. Sorry, buddy, go ahead.
So it's mid-tiny.
Yeah, mid-tiny.
So Mineski's going to know that. They're going to be...
I'm kind of worried for Secret's lanes again, because you know, I thought the Tiny was going to be a 4, but right now their side lanes don't look so hot.
Yeah.
Especially the Void lane is going to suffer.
Death Prophet's a really nice pick versus the Tiny, and the Omni, and the ET. It's whenever there's a bunch of strength heroes, DP is one of the heroes you think of like Timbersaw. The Spirit Siphon's going to do more the more HP people have. Tiny, he gets a crazy amount of HP really early in the game. He has a really high strength gain. He goes Echo Saber, you know, he might go BKB. The Spirit Siphon is going to heal up the Death Prophet, and he has the AA, so he doesn't have to be worried about getting his healing stopped. The only issue with it is that if this Death Prophet gets chronoed, he can't be bursted.
Exactly. All right. Well, we are headed to a deciding Game 3 in one of the most thrilling series of the event. But first, here's Casey with a coach interview.
Yeah, we got Sunby here. This has been a crazy, crazy series. We've enjoyed watching it. Also, the drafts have been interesting, too. From mid one Meepo, we have Yapsor Rubik. How much has the draft made a part in how your play has been?
I have no idea how to answer that. I really don't. I mean, draft is obviously very important. I think the first game, I'm not sure if we were so happy with the outcome of our draft. Second game, we were more happy, but we couldn't secure the game. Third game, we feel pretty confident. Hopefully we can pull through, rob a game if we can, see what happens.
What's the mood in the pod like right now?
Angry.
Really?
Oh, it's good, it's good. Angry's good. We want to win. You know, like angry, like hey, we need to take this. It's ours to take. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Back to you guys, but I do want to say Capitalists and Blitz, Gert, Cap.
No change of shirts. It's actually just completely dried out. We'll cast in any conditions, Casey. We're like postmen in that regard. But I just want to say, Dota is such a wonderful game, and what truly makes it great is the people. It's the people in this competition, the players in the booth, the homeless man behind the wall behind. Whatever it is, that's what makes Dota the best esports in the world. Let's get hyped for Game 3 of Mineski versus Team Secret.
Oh, this is quickly becoming a classic.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't go into this series thinking it was going to be a classic.
Dude, I didn't either. I'm going to be 100% real with the audience. I thought this was going to be a stomp. I genuinely thought Mineski, I was like, all right, like, what am I going to do with all this time I have?
You barely managed to beat Na'Vi. Team Secret barely lost to EG. Transitive Property says Team Secret's going to blow you out.
Yeah, you're going to get worked. But that's what makes TI, it's the best.
It's the best.
There's nothing else like it. This needs, 100 TIs. Just keep it coming.
TIs every day. Every day of the year.
Me and my kid are going to be watching TI one day. Oh, it's going to be wonderful.
Okay. We start off this series.
They just high-fived.
As we implied. Oh, that's cute. As we implied, we thought Secret was going to beat Mineski. And we started off that series introing saying, hey, this is a David versus Goliath matchup, and no better time for TI for you to be David and slay the Giant.
Yes.
And now, after game 1 should have gone the way of Mineski, now, after they do manage to clinch game 2, is Mineski the Goliath? Is Secret the David all along?
I will say that Mineski, in this 2-game series that we've seen so far, they've been the better team for about 95% of the series.
Yes.
And the fact that it's 1-1, if you're Mineski and you end up losing this best of 3, it'll haunt you forever. This would have been one of the greatest what could have been situations. And for Secret, you'll take those wins.
Oh, yeah.
You will take that game 1 and you'll say, we got away with it. And maybe this is the wake-up call that they need, that they're not invincible, that they can't overlook anybody. Such a big game for both teams.
And that's what I love about Dota. It's all the emotions that go into it. We heard Sunbeat. What do you guys, what's the mood in the booth? Everybody expected to hear, you know.
It's good.
It's solemn, we're good, we're calm, we're laughing about it. You know, we're gonna get this game 3. No, we're angry.
Yeah.
We're pissed off. We're Team Secret, goddammit, and we're supposed to be beating Mineski. And we're gonna see how that anger translates into the game and how they're able to make their way through this laning phase as we have Moon versus Mid-1 in the mid lane, Death Prophet versus Tiny. Certainly an opportunity for Mid-1 to take his aggression out on the Mineski players with this kind of tempo mid.
This is where star performances are born. We can forget the other 2 games. The fans can forgive your other 2 performances if you clutch it out in this game number 3 as this Tiny. I feel like I've just, I'm beating a dead horse, but at this point, Mid-1, you have to show up. He got out damage dealt by a Rubik last game. Yapzor almost carried that game for his team. It doesn't matter though, you only need 1 to look good.
KP is going to be playing the Ogre. Core Ogre at top lane with Raging Potato, babysitting him on the Shadow Shaman, Nisha Faceless Void. This time, he's going to be the one trying to get all the clutch Chronospheres instead of Nico Baby. And they're running it with an Omni Knight as well, looking to shore up their team fight as much as possible. That's what it really looks like to me. Mineski, meanwhile, fast-paced lineup with plenty of push power.
Yeah, and I actually really like Secret's strat. I think that they have the late game. They have really strong heroes at just running at you. I could very easily see them just take a lead and never let it go. Because I feel like when it comes to the 5-on-5 team fights, if they can get the jump on this DP, there's no real save for her.
Yeah, that is very scary. She does have great frontliners in her 2 cores of the Raid King and the Ogre, but if Secret get around those heroes, if they get on top of Moon.
And so far in this mid lane, relatively even, but Moon has outplayed Mid-1. But this could be it, Cap. I can't stress that enough. All it takes is 1 game. History only remembers the winners.
That's true. 14-6, 12-4 so far. Team Secret are walking away from the laning phase with a pretty good CS lead between 2 of their cores. The Faceless Void, though, is having a rough one. 4-1 right now, really being shut down by this aggro dual lane from Mineski.
Yeah, this is a great situation for the Ogre. You can trade easily. Secret have 2 different heroes, Cap, that are meant to just win one-on-one fights.
Yeah.
And this is not the case right now, as the Ogre can bully you out, the Shaman can go toe-to-toe with the Elder Titan. You can see that Raging Potato is actually using Puppy's creeps to farm up the neutrals.
And Puppy, he's trying to do something about it. They're going to man fight a little bit, but one last shot. Fable, can it stop the damage? It's not enough. Raging Potato gets the first blood. His life will be traded away very likely here as he cannot run far enough.
KP thought about throwing out the Fire Blast, but doesn't think it's worth it for the mana, and he would be completely correct. The trade-off, though, is that the Omni Knight at bottom, this hero just seems to win lane after lane. It's so hard to deal with him when you have this low damage support 5, and you have no way to immediately burst him from the get-go. I think if you can't set the line immediately, this lane just completely goes in Omni Knight's favor at some point.
It's also a lot about the Heavenly Grace Dispel, right? Like, once the enemy team has picked up their 5 position, if it has an ability that you can kind of deal with, like the Cold Feet, for example, or this Raid Fire Blast, the damage over time that happens, you're going to be able to purge most of that off, get yourself a heal, and it's like the attacks never even happened. Raging Potato, 5-minute bounty runes are about to spawn. That's why Yapzor and Puppey are both here. KP, though, pulling some of the creeps with him. He wants to challenge. Raging Potato's going to walk back with him. 2 versus 2 over the bounty runes. How's Puppey going to take this one? He's going to try and go for the stomp.
No, he's going to take way too much damage for it. No, he's actually going to go for it indeed.
Stomp misses. KP. Telekinesis isn't there. Mid one's actually going to be able to grab the bounty rune as he shows up with the bottle, and Zai actually manages to get the other side. So that's going to be 3 for Team Secret. Mineski were the ones who actually had the better bounty rune control the entire time last game, and I think the game prior.
And that's going to give them a little bit of a gold lead. Pretty negligible, though, at 5 minutes. And we've seen what these two teams look like. It's one of those interesting situations where you never know how somebody's going to match up. Maybe Mineski just matches up really well against Secret, and that's why we have the sort of series that we're having right now.
Zai, level 5 already. We've seen the power of this Omni Knight before, and this kind of like very aggressive lineup of Mineski, like being repelled by an Omni Knight, just being frustrated, not being able to get that kill that you started off on, that's certainly going to cause a lot of issues for Mineski.
Yeah, it's similar to game number 1 where Mineski in fact had the Omni Knight. They just weren't able to bully him out. If you can't do it from the get-go, your odds just decrease so dramatically.
But that's where that Ancient Apparition Ice Blast has to come in clutch, right?
Yeah, but you can just get pipe, I feel like, on Omni.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you would do as on the off lane?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In this kind of game?
Yeah, you just get pipe and all of a sudden it's the same situation because they have so much magic damage.
KP going to be pulled back potentially into his doom here, but he's so damn tanky.
Let me tell you.
Bottom lane instead, that's maybe the off-laner that dies. This time the Cold Feet does actually latch.
It's so funny that you see Omni Knight die and you watch an Ogre just kind of walk it off.
Yep. The chain stones are good enough for Mineski, and with these skeletons pushing in, also just tanking up the tower shot, the Siege Wagon was good enough. He thought it was free.
And that's Secret. They're a veteran team cap. They're making those adjustments. They realize Moon's play. I think he was anticipating that top push, but because so many teams are doing it, he's just sort of going for the play that Secret doesn't expect. No one's really assaulted Secret's offlane tower before like that.
Especially once you give, like, Zai has a good lane, but a rotation like that shuts him down. If they caught him again that second time when he TP'd under tower.
Oh, that ruins his game, and they might even go for it here.
They try. Moon's going to show up. Hits him with the nuke. Looking to be able to slow him down with the Spirit Siphon. Zai, the Heavenly Grace, protecting him a bit right now, but Nico Baby has another round of stuns coming in. The Crypt Swarm's not going to be good enough, and they don't want to dive the tower. Mineski. And this is what we're talking about in trying to go for these kills and not quite getting it, not getting the kill.
Look at this tempo. Look at this tempo.
Oh,
they're going to TP top and just go for it right after. And this is how you alleviate pressure from this bottom lane for Nico, baby. If you can't do it in one lane, do it in another.
Can Zai get there in time? He's just about to get back to the base. He's going to have a TP scroll soon. Nisha's going to be stunned up, fire blasted. They do have the hedge. That's going to be enough to be able to get the kill onto Nisha. And this exorcism will be used to bring down a tower.
They're outpacing them right now. In this series, they're thinking 2 steps ahead. And Secret, their focus is on that bottom lane, but suddenly there's somebody top. And you don't even really want to dive this Wraith King because you know he's got ulti, he's got stick charges. If they could take this tower and defend, this would be such a huge boon for them.
Part of the reason
was used though by the DP.
Yeah. And that's going to be an opportunity, right? Team Secret, they're not going to be as cooldown dependent early game because their mid is a Tiny, who's always going to be ready to fight.
Yeah. But they don't want to trade this cap.
They do
This
not.
tower is still healthy enough that you can bring heroes in and try to defend it, and it would extend your game so hard, but they might have no choice. This might be a little bit too late.
And that means that core rotation from KP kind of hurts them, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now you've got 2 cores on the same side of the map.
So that's a win for Secret.
It's funny how in Dota you can have these little wins and losses without a hero kill actually happening, just purely due to things like positioning and rotations. 10-minute bounty runes are coming up though, and we're going to see who out-positions the other. We've got Ninja Boogie. He's going to join them for this fight at bottom, but if he dies right away, Mid1 knows he's here. He's trying to hide right now, but unfortunately it's going to be found. The Avalanche toss is going to be quite enough, but the Purification will get the kill. And that means they have to give up on these 2 bounty runes, which puts pressure on Mineski to make the play top lane.
Oh, they're going to get all 4 of them, Cap.
But stop, Nisha. He's going to run to the other side. 4 bounties for Secret.
That's massive. Even though they're leading in kills, 3-2.
Yeah, they've gotten over 1,500 extra gold off of the bounties on Team Secret's side.
That's the difference itself.
Yeah.
A Ice Blast gonna come in, try to defend this mid tower. YapzOr stealing Bloodlust.
Good play. With the Siege Wagon hit in the tower, that's a few extra shots. Well, in the hard camp here, the Siege Wagon is up there. That means it's going to be a little bit delayed in its push forward. I wonder if Mineski are going to try and make a play towards that top lane, or if we're just going to see them continue to farm up. Surely a more passive game is that to the favor of Team Secret, because they have this Void. Oh, they're actually going to go for the kill on the side. The Ice Blast is there. Nico Baby holding on to that Raid Fire Blast. Tries to get a crit. Whiffs. Zai does manage to duke into the trees. They're going to spot him one more time now that they have the Graces on, and they do have the Cold Feet. They're going to try and chain the stuns here. The Purification going out, and oh man, that status resistance just lets him do so much, but it looks like Nico Baby may just hit too hard. He's got a little bit of mana to be able to work with. Zai's trying to duke into the trees right now. Nico Baby gives up. Zai jukes it away and gets out by just the skin of his teeth.
And he is indeed going for the pipe. I feel like there's no better item choice for him at this point. I think what both teams have learned about it is it comes down to the team fights. A lot of the times in these matches, we just see one team rolls over another in the laning phase. But for these 2 teams, I mean, they know what the mid and the late game look like. Raging Potato likely to go down here. There's 2 cores up here, but in fact, they actually just retreat for it fully.
They don't actually have any aggressive vision on that side of the map, so maybe Secret just feeling like because they don't have vision of the Tier 1 tower, the Shrine, they don't know if these TP rotations are coming. We know that Mineski is actually playing a little bit more passive, maybe in part because of the Hand of Midas that they have on the Wraith King, here. But the smoke up with Moon, they can play with that core, and they're going to try and slow down YapzOr here, get him chain stunned. That's a kill. Is that a tower, though?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, Mid1's here. They're going to be able to catch the Ancient Apparition. A pickoff like that could mean more. Ninja Boogie dies, but the Exorcism being used.
I'd like them to drop the wards here.
They are going to drop the wards. They're going to be able to get vision of these who actually teleport in and can get chain stun. They do have the shackles. Where's the Fire Blast actually used on the Omni Knight? They just don't have Moon here to get the real damage. A 3-man silence. That's going to be a lot. With the Raid Fire Blast onto Tiny. Mid1 down to half health already. The tower's taking up some damage as well, but Team Secret, they're healthy enough. They're going to go for the Chronosphere now into the Death Robin, trying to nuke him down with it. He toss up into the air. They're going to be able to finish off Moon. A good stomp comes out from Puppey as well. They're going to focus on KP. He's dead. Ice Blast on its way. Nico Baby on his first life is about to fall, and all of Secret very healthy, certainly healthy enough to bring down Nico Baby a second time. Team Secret hold their mid tower and repel Mineski.
And they might even grab it themselves. The wards, the last of them about to fall. 4 heroes up here. Zai, you can see that he's just too strong of a force to be reckoned with at this point in the game. He allows Nisha to get in and out of those fights so cleanly. Mineski's lineup, in fact, feels a little bit greedy. AA as a support, you're so ulti reliant that you can't really quite get in there, whereas in the backline, Puppey just kept throwing out stomp after stomp. It's a different beast entirely.
Their game is certainly a lot easier in some ways, right? With this Mid1 Tiny making these plays. You saw the way they just, Zai is forced to be fire blasted there. Otherwise, he would have saved Nisha.
The teamfight positioning feels really rough right there for Mineski as well. it didn't really feel like they were half committing.
If Moon was able to actually follow up that Shadow Shaman play, get the silence onto the Omni Knight,
yes,
then maybe KP is able to fire blast down Nisha. There's no Chronosphere, and the fight looks a lot different.
And they just have so many tanky boys on the side of Secret. They've got 4 melee strength heroes, or 3, and a Void.
Zai. They do have the rotation coming in from the Shadow Shaman, so if he comes back, but they're spotted by the illusion, Nisha does deny the mid tower.
I don't really know what their solution is right now for Zai.
Yeah.
Feels like this is going to be an uphill battle for Mineski. They just need more farm right now, and speaking of greedy, their Ogre's going to go for a Hand of Midas. Their Wraith King has a Hand of Midas. Their 2 supports are a little bit greedier. They're going to run into Zai here, who gets trapped for the time being. Phase boots his way through.
The last little bit of nukes, but it's not good enough. Zai, the Ice Blast wears off.
Yeah, he's further proving that point for me.
Yeah. I mean, he picked up the bounty route too, by the way.
They use so much to try to grab him, but the status resistance in a game like this feels so value. Now, mid one, he's got a fully completed Axe right now, Cap. He has...
We're seeing this Aghanim Scepter being picked up faster and faster for these Tinies. Can you explain some of that?
I just feel like it's a value item for Tiny. It makes you a teamfight beast. It solves a lot of your issues where, you know, oftentimes Tiny, he falls off because you have to go into melee range. And if you can't burst people down immediately, you just get kited. Well, this item makes it so it's really hard to kite.
Ice Blast just poking at him. Gets a little vision, sees what Secret's up to. They're going to stick around for this tier 2 push. If they're backing up, that means the push at top lane from Mineski should be retreated as well.
Yeah. I will say in the previous 2 games, Mineski had quite a bit of a lead going into this phase of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know what the game looks like when Secret finally has a post-laning phase lead.
There's something I want to talk about, though. This Wraith King, right? Traditionally, in many patches of the past, Wraith King's considered a early to mid-game carry.
Yes.
And with the Death Prophet, we're looking at, you know, trying to push down towers by 20 minutes, go high ground by 25, 30. A lot has changed for both of these heroes, particularly the Wraith King. We've seen a lot of these Hand of Midas Radiance build. Hector, especially from Infamous, has shown that Wraith King is no slouch late game. You can really push this hero to the limits. Is this just about, what is it about? It's about the Aghanim Scepter, it's about talent changes, what is it?
I just feel like this hero is good against the other cores. You never feel bad about having him frontline for you either. A lot of times in Dota, you saw in the game that we saw that just happened, when the Void goes in and he gets bursted down, you mess up the team fight, suddenly you've lost.
Yeah.
In this position, he's so forgiving to play.
So it's about ease of execution, and at TI, there's nothing more important, right?
He's so easy to work around. He dies once, you don't even feel that bad, because it gives your team time to reposition themselves, whereas the enemy still has to clump around. The fact that the Wraith King, you've got to kill him twice, it means that there's no mess-ups.
Well, there's that Aghanim Scepter from mid one, pummeling KP with trees, and now he's going to get the tier 2 bottom tower.
If you build the BKB, you always have time to get the BKB on.
Yeah, that's true. Aghanim Scepter, usually we've been seeing Echo Saber into Aghanim Scepter. Here, mid one's going to go the other way around. I also think Aghanim's is a great farming tool. It's a real low cooldown, and you can just kind of freely use it in fights.
Oh, look at this, 20 minutes
push down lanes.
18 minutes. They're just kind of going for it right now. They've dealt a good amount of damage to this tower. Mid one is, we said, give us a star-making performance, bail your team out. So far, so good. 7 out of your 8 kills.
X, Raging Potato, I think he knows he's been caught, and he's just trying to stall things as much as possible so his Serpent Wards can actually get the kill on the tower, but sadly there's a glyph. The glyph now, especially with the multi-shot, is so good at clearing out the creeps and defending.
Yeah, now this is just going to be food instead for Secret as they clear up all but one of those, I think.
Radiance for Moon. Death Prophet's another hero that can go late game a little bit better. The new Aghanim Scepter that was introduced for the hero, that's a core item.
The scary part for Mineski is, I don't know at what point in the game they're going to win this.
Yeah. I mean, if they're not winning it already, right?
Yeah, it feels a little bit scary right now.
Ninja Boogie.
I don't know if this is like an issue of pace.
Yeah.
Because I felt like previously they had heroes that could just run at you. And
Yeah.
Moon had some sort of hero that could just collapse on the side lanes. He could set a tempo. But in this game, it sort of feels like he has to be passive with his DP. It feels like they've gone a little bit away from the principles that led them to success in game number 1 and game number 2. And so now it becomes much more about this Wraith King. Like in the previous game where Nisha had to be the main hero, I think Nico Baby so much rides on his shoulders.
20-minute bounties, mid-1 free to push out bottom lane with his volley, take control of those. Mineski, are they going to invade, or are they going to try and get more than just this one? It seems they're willing to concede all map control to Team Secret right now. They just know they're weaker than them. They have to ride the line. They have to rely on their carry. A man they brought in late into the DPC season, this Radiance. Can Nico Baby change the fate of Mineski right now?
The good news for him is that he is good against the cores of Secret, aside from the Omni Knight.
Yeah.
Of course, he's going to always be able to survive out the Chrono. And more importantly, he doesn't get bursted by the Tiny. Both upsides for his hero. The only downside is that he's going to need help. If it means that he's, the Chrono doesn't do anything for him, Nisha's just going to say, I'm not going to Chrono you, I'm going to Chrono Moon every single time.
Yeah.
And that makes Moon's game so hard to play.
Is that why he's not, he hasn't actually queued up the Aghanim Scepter, which everyone goes after the Yule Scepter. Does he need, an early Aeon disc? Yeah.
That's going to so bad. Terrible. I feel like you go Ags, and then
Yeah.
you can go with the Aeon disc.
You just have to do it.
I'd sort of maybe even get the Shivas first. I would
Before
kind
the
of be
Aeon
okay
disc?
with, yeah, I'd be okay with that, but I do think you need an Aeon at some point.
Oh, he goes Blink instead.
Maybe he just wants to fight. They're going to get the Radiance timing, and maybe they just want to run it secret. That's how they want to come back into this game, rather than just pure farming.
I mean, the AoE silence can come in really clutch here against this Omni Knight, right? Because you always know the Omni Knight's going to be running forward to protect mid-1, or to protect Nisha, who's been initiated on.
It's very good against the Faceless Void.
Yeah.
Nisha already has a BKB. That's so scary.
Means the silence is going to be very ineffective against him.
It also means that he's always going to get Chrono off.
Yeah.
Which is pretty disastrous for Mineski.
Pretty much the only one who can stop that outcome is Raging Potato. And I just don't see him getting lasting shackles in these fights. He does have the Ether Lens, though.
He feels like he's paper.
Yeah.
And I would say that Mineski would be all right, but I think this Omni Knight, I've been saying it from the beginning of the game, it might just prove to be too much. Gonna walk up the hill, but they don't have their Death Prophet here. Secret. Riding around their shrine, they've got the numbers advantage. The pipe has been used almost immediately. And Zai, I mean, he ends any thoughts of
Look
aggression.
at him. He just doesn't care about you. Raging Potato does manage to get the Hex off. There's the Avalanche. The Ice Blast is coming in. They do manage to get the Guardian Angel. That will help protect mid-1. Here comes Yapzors, but it doesn't actually nail a whole lot. There's going to be the Ogre going down. Nico Baby still trying to focus on mid-1 because they have in the Grace. Mid-1 is actually going to be fine here. Now we have the Exorcism them out. Yapzor does manage to force snap down to low ground. Moon pursuing, trying to get another Spirit Siphon, this time on mid-1. Can they actually take down this Tiny? Well, they've already lost most of their support. Chronosphere catching them just on the side. Mid-1 tries to get away up the tree bomb route, and now the Death Prophet's dead. Nico Baby comes back with his second life, slowed down, and this is going to be the second team fight.
Now he's here to die.
It's Team Secret absolutely outclassed Mineski and almost wiped them.
And Zai still chasing. He wants the full team wipe. They're going to extend their lead 7K. The Blink Dagger, I feel like, just doesn't really do anything for you. It helps you evade some situations, but... And what they want to do is get on top, and I would agree if the Void didn't have such a fast BKB, and if you weren't playing against Heavenly Grace. You fulfill those two conditions, maybe you're alright. But as it stands, I mean, they're trying to do what they did last game, which is take these mid-game fights, push in for the towers, but they don't have the firepower. They don't have the heroes.
Yeah. You see that team fight again. They thought they just had the burst damage, but a fast Guardian Angel coming out from Zai was so key. It slows down the damage that Nico Baby was putting on a mid-1, and then he just doesn't get enough. The Ice Blast wears out about right now.
Yeah, if mid-1 dies in that position, maybe the Void doesn't have enough damage, because he only has a Maelstrom.
And Yapster just barely died there. He almost got the Tiny as well, but Nisha being able to get that Chronosphere, he held it for so long too. He read that the fight was going to go their way without it. He only used it once Mid-1 really, or excuse me, Mood really committed to that fight. There's now a Mjolnir for Nisha. Mineski.
There's his damage.
Twice now they've been repelled by Team Secret. At some point in time, you're going to have to start thinking about an exit plan, a plan B. What are you going to do with this game threatening to go late?
Yeah. Plus, I feel like in the previous 2 games, Mineski had the vision advantage every single time.
Yeah.
They de-warded so many different wards. In this game, that top ward saw them coming the entire time, so they knew to be set up for the fight. Small mistake is Secret did not end up denying that top tower, which only had 20 HP. And this is going to secure them 2 bounty runes. I mean, they haven't gone 2 bounty runes in such a long time. Moon's going to go for the plate mail and the axe, both items that I advocated for. I wanted to see the axe first into the Shivas, but he opts to go for the plate mail.
Yeah. Just a little bit of help. I mean, it is a lot of physical damage.
Yeah, I like the casual plate mail.
Yeah, with the volley build coming out from Mid-1, like he actually has to worry about the physical damage coming from the Tiny, not from the Faceless Void. Because Void's got a very magic damage heavy build. Mjolnir and his bashes, that's most of his damage right now.
Very true, Cap.
5-14, a 7,000 net worth lead for Team Secret. We have not seen them have this kind of lead once in this series. It's only until this game 3 they get mad, and they are just not letting Mineski get any openings here.
One thing though is throughout the season when Secret has any sort of lead, they just sort of go for it. They take fights non-stop, but I think they've sort of developed like this mutual respect. Secret is saying like, Mineski, you're a good team. You can hang with us. Let's not just throw.
Yeah. The Raging Potato jumping forward. They're going to try and blow up Yapzor. That is a target you can certainly burst down.
That's like
Mid-1 target. Mid-1, he's hard, but Yapzor, that's easy.
And he's got a BKB mid-1. I love when your cores still go BKB when you've got an Omni Knight. I feel like it's the worst thing in the world when you purely rely on your Omni to save you in those situations. It makes it so hard because then he has like 4 different heroes he has to constantly save. Every BKB that comes out makes Zai's life easier.
You're one of the biggest BKB enthusiasts that I know. You always say you have a lead, secure it with a BKB.
Yeah. What's the point of having 10k net worth if you don't have a BKB?
Yeah.
You get Hex once, your 10k net worth.
It's gone. Just die. Just like that. Though, how much gold was Yapzor worth? I remember saying this was a 7,000 net worth lead. Now it's only 5k.
He was worth a lot. Their A is worth 2,800, and Ninja Boogie's like most expensive item is his Quelling Blade. Life's been hard for him. That's his luxury item right now.
Raging Potato's done a good job of keeping pace with Yapzor. In fact, we're pretty much core for core until it comes to the difference between our Death Prophet and Mid-1's Tiny.
Yeah, Mid-1 still unblemished, 5-0 and 6. I mean, he's no fool.
How do you push into that?
You don't.
Yeah.
If I'm straight up honest, you don't.
Mineski. It seems to be their turn to sit back. Ah! Still got it.
The crowd like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, an attack, a projectile like Death Prophet's, it's not fast. It does that little swirly animation as it makes its way to its target. AP. He's going to be slowed down. Fire Blast onto the Void, trying to slow down the damage. There goes the Heaven of the Grace. Ninja Boogie's already dead from Mid-1. He managed to get the initiation onto him. At the same time, they were going on KP, so that's 2 dead already. But Mid-1, they're actually going to go for this one, threatening the Chronosphere. Mid does manage to get outside of it. Guardian Angel will protect him against this exorcism and the lockdown on Nico Baby. They're going to try and focus on Moon while they have Nico Baby just naturally die out. The Circle Wards are there, the BKB. They
They've almost finished on Moon. The volley almost does it, but Death Prophet managed to survive off the Dual Scepter, and so instead, they're going for the Wraith King, who's had half health. They're trying to play around these wards as best as possible. Blink's
healing.
Going out of Yaptor, Spirit Siphon healing up. He managed to actually heal through all of that one, but Nisha's now locked him down. A ton of damage on Nisha. Quickly stopped by Zai, who gets out the Purification. KB, who came back into this fight, may just exit it just as quickly as Silence goes out. On to 4 from Moon. They go back into this one.
Yeah, Ice Blast.
Can they finish him off? He's dead, but the follow-up there comes out from the volley to be able to finish up Nico, baby. Moon, blast down Puppy.
They want
Jump
the team wipe.
forward. They're going to be able to get the Omni Knight. That's going to be a wipe. This time, Secret. They challenge Mineski. They say, we think we're stronger than you. Let's put it to the test, but the buybacks, that's what makes the difference. Mineski use 3 different buybacks, but it wins them the fight, and it just might win them Roshan.
They Rosh. If they could Rosh, this would make it worth it. If they can't, then all you really did was make it so that the fight went even. And they're going to ping into Roshan. They know what's up. I mean, it's not very quick, though, without the Wraith King. And Moon doesn't have Ags.
True, but Secret's not buying back right now.
I think they also agreed. They're like, we don't think you can do Roshan either.
Oh, it's going to be close. They almost have the Aghanim Scepter on Moon, too. That certainly would have helped. Solar Crest is pulling in its weight here.
Yeah, this Rosh took forever, but Puppy, does he have a TP? No, he's not going to TP.
Yeah, they're just giving it
a
up.
while, but this is a big Roshan.
Yeah.
Now the gold lead's set to 4K. Moon can comfortably buy Ags without having to worry about having buyback or not.
The Axe also means the Aegis is more effective on Death Prophet than it was in the past. In the past, you weren't a good Aegis hero because you were just an Exorcism buff. That's all you were. But now Aghanim Scepter adds a lot of damage to this Death Prophet when she does have her ultimate on cooldown.
That was such a go-for-it maneuver, by the way.
Yeah.
If it goes poorly, Mineski lose a game right there.
Yep.
When they all bought back, and I thought it was going to go disastrously for them when they ran in 1 by 1.
Oh, yeah.
That's looking a little bit
Dude,
dicey.
Moon TPing in and getting the 4-man silence. I was like, okay.
Oh, Moon.
That's a cool silence, but what are you going to do with it?
Runs after the Tiny, but isn't able to find anything. I think he was just trying to get him out of that area. Because mid one, of course, still has the BKB. And they still have to be cautious on the side of Mineski.
Yeah.
They used a lot of buybacks for that. In fact, they have only 1 up, and it's on Ninja Boogie, and that's because his net worth is so low that as long as the timer isn't up, he'll have it. AC completed by Nisha. They immediately go for the smoke. They might run into the Wraith King here. They've got to be careful.
They're going to dodge the Wraith King. They're going to go for anybody else. If they can actually intercept Mineski here, in which they go.
Nisha?
Raging Potato blinks away. They're still going to be able to catch Ninja Boogie. Volley will be able to get it. They don't have to use the Chronosphere here. 2-man silence, but immediately that's going to be cleansed off by Sai. Jump into the air. Dual Scepter.
They want to get out. The numbers disadvantage, I think, is a little bit too rough for them.
Yeah. I mean, without the Ancient Apparition, like, how do you deal with this Omni Knight? I just don't think you can.
Yes, and that's where you live by the 5AA, you die by the 5AA. He's so easy to kill, but he's so important for the rest of your team.
Ninja Boogie, he came in big time for them in game 1 with his Witch Doctor. He's going to need better positioning.
They really don't want to give up this tower.
They do not, but they just might have to here. 5 seconds up for the Ancient Apparition.
You just cannot get multiple hero chronoed, which is easier said than done. Nisha's got the advantage in positioning, but they're going to back out.
They're actually going to go for it here. Yule Scepter catching the Omni Knight. Follow-up silence, Rate 5 Blast, and a Hex both being used. 4 staff left for 4 staff.
And the volley from the high ground. This is going to split their fight in half. Plus the ET Spirit. They wanted to threaten for that. It looked like a good timing for them. But Secret, they positioned themselves very well, and they've got a DD on their Faceless Void. This is going to force them into a fight, regardless of whether or not Moon has the Aegis.
With the double damage and the Ice Blast used. Oh, they're going to use the Old Scepter, dispelling off that double damage. And the Ice Blast about to come back up, but first Nisha and mid one try and find their opening. But Raging Potato again with the fast blink dagger away. Now Secret have overextended themselves. They're going to try and catch Yapzor, Puppy. Manage to stop it. It's mid one who's going to get caught. Instead, they do have the Ice Blast. Purification goes out. BKB and the Guardian Angel. 5
guy damage. They can't bring down mid one anymore. Puppy throws out the Earth Splitter with the Chronosphere as well. It's not going to be able to hit. Can they bring down Moon? It's going to be a close call, but he does fall. Now they're going to turn back into Nico, baby. Never mind, Raging Potato's a better target, but because of the Aegis, they need to be able to get out. But he's been caught in the shackles. Raging Potato, they have their Heavenly Grace. They're going to be able to save Isha. A little bit more of the silence. No, it's good enough. The Force Staff gets away. The Force Staffs again come in clutch for Team Secret. Mid one. Inside the pit, he's ready to go back in, but he has to blink out. It's Raging Potato, jumps forward, KP. He's going to be able to get the initiation on mid one side. He's trying to make his way to be able to bail out mid one. The Ice Blast comes in though. They bring down mid one. He's dead. They look for more. Sai and Yapzor running him down. Hex on one. Ray Fire Blast quite soon on the other. If they can actually get him, double Solar Crest as well. That means that damage from Nico, baby. He's about to bring down the Omni Knight of Zai.
He's still going for the multicast. One more hit.
Stop it!
And they're right in front of the base right now. That gold lead has been completely evaporated. Mineski have in fact wrested it away from Secret. They will not roll over.
What is happening right now? Moon silence the mid one so he can't actually get the volley off. I can't believe they're going for this tier 3 without the Exodus, and the buyback goes in their retreat.
And that's 2 core buybacks that you forced out. They weren't able to get any kills. This was a defensive buyback. Mineski, they're actually up 1k on Secret. The fights last so long and it got so split. You saw Secret, they were on the low ground. It felt like they were going to be just fine. They were force-staffing each other one by one, and then they overstayed their welcome.
Yeah.
If they all just started retreating at that point, they would have been fine.
Yeah.
But what they did was they looked for the fight after.
Because of the exorcism used, they think Chronosphere on Moon, we can go ahead, burst him down. Second life, he won't have the exorcism, but Mineski still proved to be too strong. And now, the win probability is in their favor as well as the network.
I can't even believe this game. It feels like a departure from our previous two, but what a fun one is. I mean, it feels like these two teams just bring out the best in each other.
Oh, yeah.
They're willing to fight nonstop. The team fights are what determine it all. You get into these crazy 5-on-5 situations that seem to last forever.
This AC, dude, these Wraith Kings, man, once they have the Midas and Radiance, items just start flowing in everywhere. He's actually going to go for Nullifier next.
And both teams have all their ultis up. Secret, they're looking for the angle right now. Nisha been heavily graced. He's trying to set.
They want to make sure if he does get stunned, that status resistance will let him get off his BKB.
And Moon nearly has the Aeon Disc. He's sending the courier back. This would be a massive pickup for him. If they can't just burst him through the Chronosphere, you see how tanky he can potentially be. And his ability to come back into the fight after the Yule Scepter is so good.
Crystallis up, mid one, that's a lot of damage now. The Echo Saber, that provides the disable, the slowdown to keep them in the volley, but it's really the Daedalus, or in this case, the Crystallis buildup, that's going to deliver that sort of game-ending Chronosphere into volley combo.
Secret have to be so careful, Cap.
Dude,
they use the two
really
core
do.
buybacks. If either of those heroes die at this point...
Oh, look at this. A sneaky little play. Raging Potato trying to finish up that tier 3. Not good enough, though.
Very nearly does. And this Roshan fight, Cap, is going to mean everything to both sides. If Secret decide to take the fight, it'll be without the buyback on the Tiny.
They're going to go for it
or
here.
It'll be two core buybacks that they don't have.
And Team Secret, will it be hubris? Will they get caught in this mid lane? A lot of them are behind Yapzor, but not everybody. First defensive force down. You could see Mineski not going to take the bait here.
They're being patient right now. They don't want to overextend themselves.
They just picked up the Aeon Disc, but the Death Prophet just showed himself on that ward. Secret should know about that saving grace.
Yeah, that's a big item pickup for both teams. Now you can't just blindly Chrono Moon and hope for the best. You have to position it correctly. As we wait with bated breath, Roshan about to spawn, and that's going to mean a bad dash for both teams. And neither of them have buybacks, but it's Mineski that's limited by
They actually had a ward in place. They're going to be able to see that Blink Dagger in. Raging Potato, defensive force staff away, but a volley. Finish him off. Raging Potato down, BKB used by mid one, and Mineski. Everybody out.
Roshan, 20 seconds until he's up. What team's gonna go for it?
Fast Roshan like this with 90 seconds for Raging a Potato.
IceFrog just
go
wants
for
it. He, just 10 more years of Mineski versus Secret. What gives the most dramatic situation? It's that 20-second timer on the Roche.
And if they get it, there are going to be so many items coming in for Team Secret. Like the Lotus Orb for Zai, that's going to be crucial because the whole Blink Dagger Death Prophet play is then canceled.
And there's a Nullifier on Wraith King.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is going to be an explosive team fight.
Dude, he's going for the Orchid. He's going for the Son of Doom build. Shout out to OD Pixel for that one.
I hope you're watching.
But all of that, right? All of that can go away off of a Lotus Orb or Heavenly Grace coming out from that Omni Knight. They have to hunt Zai down. This really is a game about hunting Zai.
I will say his build, not going for Greaves, has hurt him so much because he doesn't have the ability to remove that silence easily.
Oh,
now they're going for it. They're going for it.
Ice Blast in the pit. Moon showing himself in bottom lane. Dude, is Mineski actually going to fight around this?
This is going to go really quick.
Being in, can they get in there in time? Nico Baby gets vision off into neutral, then trying to go for Nisha. He's already popped his BKB Chronosphere to be able to pick up the Aegis and cheese. He's got that. Now he's going to be able to jump over to the side, trying to go for Moon as best as possible. Now time block out.
Spider ready to get the first light.
It might be the Aegis as well. Look at Midwan, he's TPing back to the shrine right now. He's trying to stay in the fight, so to get out of the river, but Zai's gone.
He doesn't have buyback, and Nico Baby, he's blinked forward if he can get any more. But 104 seconds now for Zai. 2 minutes on his buyback. They've got the numbers advantage.
Aegis and cheese, but for what? No Omni Knight, no Chronosphere,
and a DD rune.
Oh,
how fortuitous for Mineski.
IceFrog intervenes once again. He said, look, I gave Nisha a double damage rune. He didn't get to use it. You're going to have the same opportunity.
And what can they do with it? They don't have the Exorcism, but they do have the Serpent Wards. They're right in front of your base, Secret. You don't have Chronosphere.
Wards out. Trying to stall right now. That's all Secret is looking to do.
They have Aegis, but it feels so useless when you don't have Chronosphere.
Yeah, what can a Void do without his ultimate?
And that's going to be Rax.
That is definitely going to be Rax. Can Mineski do more? Or are they going for the tier 2 mid? Yeah.
No, just calm down.
Yeah.
Gather yourself.
Are you talking to me or Mineski right now?
Both.
But I'm about to lose my mind where this game.
I can't handle it.
Mineski. 2 siege wagons. A bunch of the boys. And a tier 2 falls. Let's see some shrines.
They are going to get so much gold because of that fight. Yeah. They're going to grab the shrine here. This shrine, once Roshan's out of the equation, the other shrine doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
This shrine controls the triangle. It makes it really hard for you to get outside your base and farm. And it just forces Secret to sort of hole up.
25% backtrack.
Oh!
Nisha win for it.
Oh, he's gone for it. All right. Let's do it. Let's see what it does.
What if you backtrack a crit? It's the same situation here with the Wraith King.
Maybe he just feels like the All right, you know why? I think it's because he thinks that his Chronosphere isn't very good against the Wraith King or the Death Prophet at this point.
Yeah.
I think he's made the executive decision. I can't deal with these two heroes. The better talent to dealing with these two heroes is the backtrack talent.
Yeah.
And Zai needs the Lotus Orb. He's been waiting for it for so long, but the problem is his buyback's about to come back up, but he won't have the gold for it. So he's put into this weird position where he can't teamfight without an ability to get rid of the silence, which is why I feel like he needed Greaves in this game so badly. It's, of course, in hindsight, because you want to get phase boots for the laning phase, but it feels so rough to fight without it.
I mean, is Zai going to have a buyback? I think you might buy out the Lotus Orb.
Maybe if you think you're invincible anyway. He definitely is. He's waiting around that area for a reason.
I think that's the only way to solve some of the team fight issues. Oh, Jesus. That's a lot of gold. That's a Hannah minus multicast proc.
And he's got the 40 strength.
The 40 strength.
Boy's a beast.
Attacking a third hero that Chronosphere is just not going to do shit against. KP right now is walking around with 3,600 HP, 1 billion armor. I think that's what that adds up to.
I can't believe we're in this position right now. We're Secret 8K down. Cap, they were most people's favorites. Mineski, bottom 2.
Yeah.
They're about to join Infamous potentially in the top 8. Liquid Dota, where are you at? You had these two teams as your bottom 2.
And look at that.
But the team fight is all that matters. Yapzor
They're going to
pushes
be able
forward.
to telekinesis onto KP. The first initiation of the Shivas, Chronosphere. It only catches the back line. He didn't actually lock down Moon. He will be able to finish off Raging Potato, who doesn't have half buyback. KP is almost dead, but look at that. Trapped inside the trees. The Guardian Angel barely goes offside. He's being hunted right now. The Ice Blast takes him out. Nisha looking to be able to finish off KP, but he's so tanky. The Ogre's good. Mid one, pummeling them with the volley. Tries to be able to finish off Nico maybe as best as possible, but Moon, he's getting good access to some damage. A Faithful to be able to finish off the Ogre. He does have buyback. Mid one, he also dies as well. Moon's able to chase him down into the high ground. Nisha, man, fighting against Ninja Boogie. He gets one. Can he get two? He gets three, but no. He's gonna die here. He does have the Aegis on his second life though. Nico Baby and KP sit on top of him. They need to be able to chase him down. Ray Fire Blast 1, Fire Blast 2, Ice Blast in, force down. That's not gonna hit.
The tree volley over the top.
They're gonna be able to turn. They're gonna be able to fight. Can they bring down Moon? The Ice Blast stolen by Yapzor.
1 second for the blink on Nico Baby, and he
gets
does
away.
to get
the
it.
Avalanche doesn't hit him. Now it's KP's turn.
And this was KP's buyback.
They have the silence though.
The counter
Yule Scepter being countered by the Lotus Sword. Shiva's out. 3 versus 4. Nico Baby. There's second. Oh, the nullifier trying to finish off the Faceless Void. But again, the force tap is going to be good enough. Pump.
Moves in the middle of everything.
Nisha has a BKB though. They running out of physical damage. Nico Baby's trying to go for mid one instead. But Moon, he's being checked down. 1 second. He's dead. Faithful. He doesn't have buyback.
He doesn't have buyback. He was 1 second away from the Yules.
Nico Baby, he'll be able to at least get Puppy, but the rest is Secret. They're not tanky enough. They can't actually go up the second life of the Wraith King.
But 1 second and Zai is about to be alive. Secret in a great position now. No buyback for 106 seconds. 74 seconds on the deck for the Ogre. They've got to make something of this. What a turnaround for them as they barely hold in that fight. If that Death Prophet gets Yules off, they're going to win that fight. And she was 1 second away from it. The target fire precision on Secret. 1K gold lead now for Mineski. Oh, my heart.
Oh, they're trying to execute the Faceless Void. They know they are at a disadvantage, but again, the force stats. Oh, he's coming in.
He's got the 2 supports.
Onto the 2 supports with an Ice Blast, with an Earth Splitter. 5 behind Mineski. That's 4 dead. Make it 5. The reincarnation. 1 versus 5. Oh, baby, Nico, baby. You got to get back to the fountain, and you've got to stall Secret, because once again, they're going for your throne. Telekinesis pullback, mid one, toss him over to Nisha.
And he's just trying to waste time right now in Secret. And they're obliging right now. They're walking away from the tower. They don't have Glyph though. And this is going to be a hard hold. There's no buybacks. He's going to have to do this 1v5.
They did it before. 2 versus 5. 10 seconds on for KP. Nullifier onto Puppy. Looking to try and execute the captain of Team Secret, but he can't finish him off. He's still trying to go for it.
Secret's just ignoring him.
Dancing around. Nico Baby does have the reincarnation, so he's man fighting here. He even wants to die. He needs the AoE Wraith Fire Blast. That's why Secret aren't finishing him off. The Guardian Angel. Good for the throw. It's exposed. Tier 4's down. Nico Baby is trying to finish up anybody he can. But Nisha swinging away.
They don't do enough damage.
They have it. Throw it. Team Secret aside. Another comeback.
Unbelievable.
Victory for Team Secret.
I can't believe they pulled this one out. The fight lasted so long. Barely able to pull it out. And Secret, they went for the win when mid one went for the buyback to help out the rest of his team. That could have been the decisive moment where Mineski wins. They sense blood. They all bought back to try to get that fight done. And instead, it is Secret that walk away with the victory.
What makes champions? It's the difference between good and great. Not what you do in practice, but when the lights are on, when you're in the booth, when thousands upon tens of thousands of eyes are watching you and your backs are against the wall. Team Secret, 2 times in this series, had their backs against the wall. The DPC champions. That is why they were the #1. That is why the way that they were able to come back. And that is why they will move forward against Mineski.
And all the props in the world, by the way, to Mineski. They showed us such great Dota. I mean, they made this an absolute monster of a series.
Southeast Asia has just had its heart broken. And fans around the world at this point, Mineski, have made a lot of fans with this series. They are sad to see Mineski go. I am so sad to see them go. But somebody's got to be eliminated. It's a harsh
Harsh competition, the international.
I'm tired after that. I'm
I'm exhausted.
I feel so
I can't imagine how Team Secret and Mineski feel right now.
Look at Nisha. He's smiling ear to ear.
Team Secret, congratulations to them, Mineski. Oh, you gotta feel for them. You gotta feel for them. But we have more of the international coming up. Upper brackets up next. Panel. What a series.
Oh, Cap, yeah, definitely quite a series, and I think we all agree with you in quite a few ways. We're going to break it all down, talk about that game, and get ready for the next one. My name is Rich. I'm going to be your host. I'm joined by Sin, Trent, and we have Dove here. I mean, where do we even start with that one? Mineski, they play so well throughout the entirety of the series. The first game, it looks like they're going to take it. The third game looks similar in some ways with the fact that for some reason Secret's able to find a crazy opening and get the win. But the big difference this time around, Sind, is the fact that it does seem like Secret does win the lanes.
Yeah, they came off to a better start this game. I don't really know how much it matters in these games to an extent, because one team wins the lanes. It's all about these mid-game and late-game team fights. The advantages that they built didn't seem to directly translate into a clear direction in the game, because there's just so many crazy 5-on-5s where it's down to who uses the Force Staff better, who has the better Lotus Orb, who's better positioned to begin with. And just a treat to watch. The teams were super evenly matched. And going forward in the tournament, the question is, was Mineski amazing today or Secret weak? And you got to think ahead for Secret, right? One of the favorites.
Yeah, I mean, that really is such a huge question, Dove. When you look at the performance here, are you saying that... Yeah, because when we were actually watching this for a while, you were like, oh, Secret, it looks like they're not doing so well. And do you think that this does come down to Mineski playing out of their minds, or is it Secret falling behind?
No, I think just Secret. I mean, I don't think they're happy that the way they won this series, because you can see the eye, like Puppy and even Zai, they look very serious and they're not happy, I can tell.
It happened not only in this game, but throughout like the entirety of the series. I kept saying to some of the other people who were on the panel during the first two games, I was like, Puppy kind of looks pissed off right now, and he just won, especially after that first game as well.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Sunday after game 2, right? What did he say? He said, they are angry. They're not in that booth. They're not all super excited. They're just mad, and that definitely translates. They were happy, sure. They popped off a little after the win, but then after that, they came out of the booth back to serious mode, like, let's get through this lower bracket.
Maybe a sigh of relief here, but you don't want to have a sigh of relief, right? I mean, especially when you're Secret going up against the team. It's the story of Puppy trying to go for a second TI chip under his belt compared to an underdog story.
It's also the story of Secret struggling again, and it's one of those things that can get into your head, where we talked about it with VP yesterday as well. Like, you have these teams that get to TI, they're good all season, and then they have a history of struggling sometimes during the season, and yeah, you know, it matters. It definitely matters.
And, you know, we're trying to extrapolate how they feel. We're talking about how they look when they're coming off stage. Luckily for us, Casey right now is going to throw us to that interview, and we'll see how they actually do feel.
Yeah, okay, thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm with the App Store, and you walked in. They were talking on the panel about how must you feel, and I think you and I agreed on a word. Oof. Oof. That's all I keep saying as he's sitting here. You look exhausted. I feel exhausted from watching it. You guys, in every single game, those late game team fights were intense. How are you able to come out and win after all of that?
I have no clue, to be honest. Like, every single game was just a throne. So, like, it was always about the throne. Like, I don't even think we said the word get the barracks once.
You're kidding.
It was always just the throne.
Oh my gosh.
So, like, it was really stressful to play. But we kept as calm as we can.
That seems to be the story of the tournament so far. Every team that is successful comes back and says we were just able to, you know, stay focused and trust each other as a team. There are already a lot of people tweeting pictures from inside the pod where it looks like, gosh, how do I put this? Puppy and a few others looked a little intense after the draft and during the game. Your thoughts on that?
After which game?
This was the eye that Puppy gave. I think it was during game 2.
To who?
Zai and mid 1.
Game 2. Oh, game 2.
Wait, does he have different eyes that he gives for different? Okay.
No. I don't think it was like anyone's fault. We just kind of were out strategized at the start. Then I chronoed my PA, and we lost. So,
sorry, bro.
If anything, I should have got the look.
I can bring Puppy in here if you want to get the look from Puppy. No, you're good.
I'll get it later.
We talked with your coach. I think it was right before this last game, and I asked what the mood was like in the pod. He said angry.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the good type of anger.
Yeah.
It's not like, I hate my teammates.
Right.
No, it's just like anger as in like we want to destroy them.
Yeah.
We gotta destroy them because it's like yesterday's loss was rough, but today it's like it's our chance to redeem ourselves and like hopefully progress further in the tournament. So we feel like we have and don't have something to prove because it's like if we lose, we lose, but if we win.
Is it really if we lose, we lose? I mean, come on.
You kind of have to like trick your mind to thinking that way.
Really?
So that you don't think of pressure.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Even though it's like we could be a favorites of this tournament, but we're actually ourselves coming into this tournament knowing we can lose to Mineski, knowing we can lose to anyone. Like we're gonna probably, I think we're facing Infamous next.
You are?
We know we can lose against them, especially them.